The story begins with a bloody scene where humans fight against hellish-looking creatures in an endless battle. When the morning sun finally touches the earth, the humans have been defeated, and the few survivors are executed by the creatures, who enjoy spilling their blood upon the ground. 2 seconds before the last human is executed, a mysterious warrior appears. This warrior is very different from the rest. He fights without armor, showing agility and skill, and carries a sword much sharper than the others. The soldier thanks him for saving his life, but the warrior approaches only to steal the last gram of gold he has on him. Among his belongings is a silver coin-shaped piece bearing a strange inscription. The soldier begs him to return it to the upper sectors, but the warrior ignores him. After robbing all the soldiers and taking the loot, the warrior mounts his horse and continues his journey toward a village several days away. Upon arrival, he heads to the tavern, where he can finally quench his thirst and buy some food. There is no shortage of curious onlookers watching him eat in peace. Some desire what he has, while others fear getting too close. He takes a moment to analyze the piece he took from the soldier and realizes it possesses a magic unknown to him. However, his lunch is interrupted by a 3-headed creature that demands he return the talisman or suffer the consequences. The monster's grotesque appearance leaves everyone stunned, but our warrior steps forward, hits it with a chair, and heads outside to face it in open combat. With a single blow from his razor-sharp sword, he realizes this won't be so easy. The monster's skin is hard as stone, and his sword fails to cut it. Worse still, his famous sword breaks after the beast's first counterattack. Fortunately, he seizes the opportunity to use a fragment of the sword to stab one of the monster's 3 heads. This time, he manages to pierce its body. By killing one of the 3 heads, he gains a few seconds to flee, as without his sword, he is no match for the monster. The monster warns him that every creature of the underworld will hunt him until he hands over the talisman. Knowing he cannot face them, he decides to throw the talisman away to avoid trouble. But magic happens. No matter how far he throws it, the talisman always returns to his pocket. Their fates are intertwined, and now he must investigate what has happened, and if the true punishment of power is not having it, but never being able to let it go. Leaving the village, he arrives at the hut of a witch, a source of advice in exchange for payment. The witch informs him that he has stumbled upon one of the 3 relics of creation. This talisman fuses with the soul of its bearer, granting great power, and the bond is only broken by the bearer's death. From that moment on, the talisman stops being a piece of silver. It becomes an invisible chain. To break the bond, he must travel to the edge of the known map to dangerous lands. It is the only way to save his soul from the death that stalks him. On his first day of travel, Stalker, as the monsters call him, encounters a dense fog that leads him to a cave. The remains of humans and monsters make him think there was a battle, but it seems something left food for later. Shortly after, we encounter the Hungry Host, a group of sandworms that devour everything that dares enter their cave. In a chest in a corner, Stalker finds a dwarf demon crying for help. His name is Dudov, and he now owes Stalker his life, meaning Stalker has gained a companion. Dudov remembers the creature's location and guides him toward the exit. They are now a team, at least until he pays his debt. Dudov identifies the language of the inscription on the talisman as Asmodean, a very powerful dead language. He cannot read it, but his old master could. At that moment, they hear the sound of a horse, and a group of demons appears. They have come for them and can sense the proximity of the talisman. Clearly at a disadvantage and without a good sword to fight with, Stalker decides to run. Perhaps he can defeat them one by one. Dudov summons an ancient spirit to distract the demons, but the plan fails and ends up leading them directly to the duo. Their leader introduces himself as Jotak, a former commander Stalker served in the past, but now they are on opposite sides. It happened when they fought together, and Jotak fell victim to a curse. Stalker had to decapitate his friend to prevent the underworld from consuming him. Here, 2 reflections of the same mirror cross paths. Stalker, the one who kills to live, and Jotak, the one who lives because he was killed. One fears becoming a monster, and the other has already surrendered to it. As a final gesture of their past friendship, Jotak grants him a fair fight and hands him a sword. The fight is long, and our hero is on the verge of losing, but an agile move allows him to dismember Jotak, a moment he uses to escape. That night, Dudov explains that if Necro is truly involved, They must not allow them to recover the talisman, or it will be the end of the world as they know it. Upon arriving at his old master's tomb, they find Necro's priests performing a ritual, which will make obtaining his books extremely complicated. The priests are turning corpses into soldiers, and their activities are being observed by a young woman who surprises our heroes. Her name is Vayne, and together with Dudov, they sneak into the master's tomb to get the books. In just a few seconds, Stalker has gained another ally, a curious girl who might be useful or perhaps not. In Dudov's master's tomb, he finds numerous manuscripts, meaning they will need time to locate the correct one. Meanwhile, Stalker fights to keep the guards occupied. However, we don't know how long he can hold out. He is at a disadvantage, and they need to get out of there as soon as possible. The team manages to escape with the correct manuscript, representing a small victory. Now Dudov must study it to be able to read the talisman and discover its purpose. Though it sounds simpler than it is, dangers abound, such as a golem equipped with a laser beam that wants the talisman for itself. With every blow of his sword, all Stalker achieves is wearing down his blade. That golem is solid rock, but it has an inscription on its body, and by tearing off the seal, Stalker can see its heart. By destroying it, the golem crumbles and victory is his. One step closer to the end of his campaign. In Jotak's case, the priests restore his arm, but he no longer looks human and is equipped with gadgets, allowing him to kill Stalker once and for all. Fortunately, Stalker discovers a peculiarity of the talisman. Every time danger approaches, it glows, allowing them to anticipate their enemies. What doesn't help is that these enemies are becoming increasingly difficult to kill and, above all, more lethal. Using Dudov as bait, it was time for him to be useful. Dudov is finally able to read the talisman's runes after 6 days. It has a secret to share, a prophecy. The talisman is more than an object of power. It is a compass toward the most powerful weapon ever created. A weapon known as the Light of Talon, with enough power to rule the world or protect it from evildoers. At the end of the prophecy, Dudov tells Stalker he can free him from the talisman's bond, but they will lose the guide to the sword. It is a decision he must make. He can choose to be free or continue the campaign. Stalker chooses his freedom. The next morning, Vayne disappears with the amulet, and they are surrounded by a group of thieves led by a woman named Grendel, who only values life based on what it can offer. Grendel is Vayne's mother and turns out to be a traitor who led them directly into a trap. She knew about the talisman, and when Stalker broke the bond, it was the perfect moment to betray them. For her betrayal, Vayne receives the mark of the Thieves' Guild. She is now one of them, but Stalker is a problem they must eliminate. While Grendel delivers her monologue, Dudov recites some words to the earth, and soon the dead and the creatures that had been sleeping rise to say hello. Giant, strong, and ruthless creatures attack the camp. Their strength is enough to dismember the strongest human, and chaos breaks out. Grendel falls to the monsters, and Stalker recovers the talisman. When all seems lost, Dudov begins to play music with his flute, and the monsters calm down, returning to their watery grave, and our heroes manage to save themselves. With the talisman in his possession, Stalker is guided to Prince Baldur, who has the power to summon the Light of Talon, so he hands it over to him. However, Stalker will not receive a reward. Instead, the prince orders him to be killed and the talisman taken from him, but a group of unexpected guests appears, and the fight between humans and demons begins once more. Jotak returns for a second chance, but this time he commands the power of the underworld. With his cursed hand, he manages to stab Stalker, but before he can execute him, Vayne appears and saves him. That gives Stalker enough time to grab his sword, but Jotak is stronger than both of them. With a single move, he pierces Stalker's heart and gets what he came for, his death. And so, Stalker falls like an extinguished torch in the middle of the darkness he swore to fight. After snatching the talisman from Baldur, Jotak executes him and departs for the underworld to deliver the talisman to Necro. In the forest, swamp creatures find Stalker's body and take it deep into their lair, where their magic is most powerful. There, they repair his heart with the power of nature and bring him back to life so he can finish what he started. While that happens, Dudov and Vayne are taken before Necro, the leader of the demons who has dark plans for the future. Necro believes Vayne can become a valuable ally. She is a good thief, so he offers her the same choice that turned Jotak into his henchman. Their celebration is interrupted by Stalker, who is now not only stronger but also possesses far superior resistance. Dudov asks him to save Vayne, but it will soon be too late for her. If he wishes to save her, he will have to face Jotak, who is now stronger than ever thanks to Necro. Dudov takes the opportunity to challenge Necro, the most powerful sinister mage, to combat. In a battle resembling David versus Goliath, Stalker manages to defeat Jotak by making him swallow a demonic seed. Necro mocks Dudov but doesn't realize the little mage is aiming at the rocks above his head. When they fall, Necro is buried beneath them. Unfortunately for them, the potion transforms Vayne into a massive, bloodthirsty beast. The beast does not recognize its masters and devours Necro. Only the light of Talon can stop it, but extracting the talisman from Necro's cauldron involves a great sacrifice. Stalker accepts the sacrifice and plunges his hand into the cauldron, but instead of the talisman, he pulls out the sacred sword destined to defeat evil. With the beast's death, Vayne is expelled from its body and, luckily, survives. The group survives the world's greatest battle, and Stalker obtains a new sword, one that no demon will dare to challenge. He is now the guardian of the light, and his responsibility to maintain the balance has only just begun. Perhaps the true war was never against the demons, but against the human desire to dominate the light.